Here is our engine, all disassembled, all the parts tumetoanisha. You can see this one right here is the gearbox. At least I kumeshikana na engine ilikuwa kando. Here we have the pistons. This piston number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. I was the head carrier. Number 4 in tulienda kuangalia the rings, because now this is the compression, 2 compression rings and then the oil ring. This is the cylinder head cover. Hii na muniambie jina yake inaitwa aje kitu. These are the main bearings zenye tulikuwa tumetoa last time, because there was a bolt which you couldn't access, but Adnan found a way of getting to it. Here we have the alternator, we have the camshaft. That one, is it the oil pump? Geeks, when you're mnajua na engines, please tell me in the comments down below. I know I have zero experience with the engine. This, I don't know if this is the exhaust manifold or the intake manifold. This is the top head. I'm a top head of the engine. This is what is covered by this. This goes on top of that. And here we have the bottom end. Yeah, that's our engine in a nutshell. This is what you're going to use to clean. Is a concentrated degreaser. It's 5 liters, 5 kg or 5 liters, yeah, from Spectra Chemicals. That's what Adnan asked me to get. And then this is just for UV petrol ya kawaida. And here are our replacement, like for replacing here. These are the control bearings. This here, and this are the main bearings, I believe. Yeah, these are the main bearings. Then there's the piston rings. There are 3. There's the 2 compression rings and 1 oil ring. Yeah, not fuel, oil ring. Then there's something I forgot to get, because you remember the last time tulikuwa hapa hatukufunganisha engine yote. There is something that was missing out, so I wasn't able to go with a sample of this. These are from the main bearings. I need this ring. What we'll do is we'll check if they are the same size as the piston rings. If not, I'll have to carry this, go get a sample, at least, yeah, because we need to replace that. Yeah, so I think tutaanza na kusoak hii, tutatengeneza concentration ya concentration ya the degreaser and petrol or gasoline, is kwa mahali kina mnaitaga. We soak that head, clean it up nicely. Now we can't continue with it. This is the bottom end. Yeah, this is the bottom end of the engine. So shida, this pulley is proving to be a pain in the behind. Haitaki kutoka. Now we won't be able to clean this one for now, because we need tunafaa tutafute msemo kwenye pulley kwenye atakuja tusaidie tutoe hii, because for this specific engine, the 7A, if we break any of this, because this has the camshaft position sensor or something, yeah, hii hatutaweza kuipata kwa urahisi. It might stall this progress for unforeseeable amount of time. So hii tutaishughulikia tena baadaye. Tatafuta msemo mwenye anaweza tusaidia na pulley ya kutoa hii, so that we remove it safely before we start cleaning the bottom end. Yeah, and here, before I forget, here's the overhaul gasket. Hii nilipataga a while back. Yeah, in addition to the rings and everything, is here the plastics, is the gasket. It's original Toyota gasket. Now this is the head gasket, and there are 2 types, the steel and the asbestos. So I got the asbestos one, because for the steel, if there is any imperfection kwa the cylinder head, itasumbua. It will mean that we'll have to go to the guys who, when you want us grind down so that you can get it to live flash. But with the asbestos one, even if there's any imperfection, it will have it sorted, because the asbestos has that property. So once we're done with cleaning up, we are going to use that kit together with this to replace everything we need to. I also need to get a water pump. Yeah, I need to buy that also before tufunge engine tena. Yeah, there's a bit of carbon maze. I don't know, even the mnaambiagwa smoker's lung inakaa na this carbon buildup, but you're gonna get this looking very, very clean. Yeah.
Unaifinya hivi, kind of wiggle it around. Okay. The second one is thicker. So it's a bit more of a struggle. You have to be careful if you're not using gloves or anything.
Okay.
They like to slice your hands open. Same thing with this. The oil ring. Look for the opening. It is. Hiyo utatafuta opening.
Hiyo unachomoa tu.
Hiyo unaipanua tu.
Unaivuta
really how it stays in place.
Okay. Easy. Calm down. I'm a pro at this.
Hiyo ni kaya kuichuna tu.
Mimi mwenye sina kucha. We are doing nicely. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Compression rings off, oil ring off. Yay! With the rings off, it was time to start the cleaning process. Upon a closer look on the rings that we had removed from the pistons, there was something off. They had markings. The same markings were on our replacement rings, which meant that someone was in the engine before us and replaced the rings. Then came our second surprise, the markings on the pistons.
So this is piston number 1. This is piston number 2. This is piston number 3. Piston number 4. Apparently, these pistons are not supposed to have these markings, and Adnan says the rings were also replaced because they have those markings which I showed you in the previous clip. So he feels that we may have a forged engine. Anyway, we need to research ndio tujue what that standard means, because that's the same thing, that's the same marking on this replacement parts. See, this is a standard, same to this standard, and same to this other box. Now, on a serious note, what do you think? What do you think is happening?
So there's a chance the engine that we have here, someone has probably been inside it before. Aside from the obvious fact that there was silicone everywhere.
Yeah.
Also on the oil pump and all that one will probably show you later on. But definitely someone has been inside before. And the rings already show us that they were not in bad condition.
Yeah, but they were replaced.
Yeah, they're not in bad condition. We would have probably run the engine very well with the current setup that it did.
Okay.
But for the setup of the projects that we want to do here,
he just found it's just easy. I mean, just go over with it. I mean, just change literally everything you can change. Just be sure.
So that we can start with a clean slate.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we're going at least to this whole extent of rebuilding this entire engine.
Yeah.
So we'll continue going forward. Tuendelee tumalizane na hii, and hopefully we'll be boosting.
And so is there a chance that the pistons have been replaced?
It seems like it, because the standard mark probably indicates a replacement part, but we can confirm that, alafu we'll see.
Okay. Mwenyeji amesema hapa ndio tulikuwa tuna clean the first piston. He scrubbed it off a bit, but we need to do some deeper cleaning ndio ikuwe safi. Inafaa ikae hapa vile hapa panaka. That's how the whole piston should look like. So let's get cracking. Unfortunately, we've had to stop the cleaning for today because we are conflicted on what those markings on those pistons are. The internet is not giving us much information, so we decided to hold on it until we get all the information, the proper information as to why those pistons have those markings. So we are going to do that. Adnan is going to do his own research, and I'm gonna reach out to a friend called Dixon from MPG Performance. I shared that video with Dixon, and this is what he had to say.
Okay, interesting. So those markings you see on the pistons can be used to differentiate pistons that are of the same part number, so they belong to the same engine, and all the factory engines came out with that piston, but something happens in the market and it necessitates to change something on the piston maintaining the same part number. So for example, you release an engine, goes to the market, and then something happens to the cylinder walls, and they have to be worked on. Now every time you work on the cylinder walls, be it polishing or boring, the cylinder becomes bigger because you're eating material off the surface, and when the cylinder becomes bigger, then you need to use a bigger piston for the same engine. Now that bigger piston is denoted on the piston itself, so it comes out of the factory with the same part number, but a mark on the piston tells you that it is oversized. sometimes it's 0.5 mm oversize, and that is what is written on the piston. Now for this particular piston, it has STD on the face. That means it's the standard size piston. If you deviate from that, for example, if you do something to make the cylinder walls bigger, then you would go for a plus 0.25 mm. So that's the markings you see on.
This is what Adnan had to say about the same.
For the pistons, what you found out?
Okay, so vile piston zetu pale, they tell us that someone has probably rebuilt that engine at some point and go to the extent of replacing the piston. So that begs the question that why would they go to the extent of replacing the piston? So the only way that okay, in the performance aspect, if you replace the pistons, then you're going for maybe performance, so you'd go forged, or maybe a larger piston, somewhat like to increase the bow of the engine and increase compression definitely. So those ones that have been replaced are standard. That's the reason why we have those marking of STD. So those ones, yeah, naona Jack hapo na smile, but STD, which stands for standard. The same way we have the OEM replacement parts like the con rod bearings, the main bearings, and all of those ones are mentioned as standard because they've not been machined. The crankshafts, the piston, the con rods, they've not been machined. That's the reason why we're maintaining standard. And same case for the pistons now.
So what might have happened? Like taking a wild guess, why would have someone gone to the extent of replacing all the 4 pistons with the pistons which are like, let's say original? Because if it's standard, it means like they are pretty much same as the stock ones.
Yeah, like the dimensions, all of them are the same. So I wouldn't know why, but maybe, wild guess as you said, maybe they were damaged at some point. But if they were damaged, most likely then they would have damaged the block itself. But the block has not been bored. The cylinder have not been bored. So I cannot say that the pistons were damaged. At that point, pia wangechonga hiyo block.
So in a nutshell, we are in the clear, or is it too early to call it?
Too early to call it, but by the looks of the overall condition of the engine, they're good.
Okay. So I can breathe for now.
Yeah. Yes.
Now that we have a green light on the build, at least for now, there's a chance that our engine is okay. Let's continue the cleanup. We are back with the build. Tumerudi kuosha engine and guys, you won't. Hey, hamtaamini nani ameshow up leo. Let me show you.
Master Sensei! Master mwenyewe!
Sensei is here. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
We are extremely happy. I don't know whether you can define the word extremely.
Hivi ndio tunakaa ni concentration yenye ndibai ndio tumeweka hapa. Tusafishe pistons. Now let's see how clean we'll make them. Na nimeambiwa mimi ndiye naosha. So guys, wish me luck.
Special shout out to Mr. Mbugwa aka Sensei. He's the one responsible for most of this footage.
later.
We are back. Alright. Tuliacha block ikisok, so it soaked for overnight and the whole day, and jana nilijikatakata, so I had to come prepared looking like a surgeon. Panita nichunge mikono, otherwise vidole zitabaki hapo. So let's finish up this cleanup.
Sasa I've been tasked with pressure washing this. This is the block and the cylinder, I think.
Anna, ini cylinder. The block and or is the block on its own?
Hakuna kitu ingine. Yeah, that's the block.
Then is some yake.
Aha.
And then the top cover.
Top cover ya the block. So wameniambia hii mimi ndio napigia pressure wash hapa. Yaani mnapea mkamba kazi ya kunini na maji. Unajua this is a taboo to play with water.
Si kila siku unaonaga maji bro. So
Hautaongea hivyo nani, by the way? You don't speak like that. The cleaning process, the pressure washing process was so satisfying, so I've decided to just let the video flow without editing or putting any music over it. So enjoy. Said I'm going to get what? Adnan said I'm going to get wet.
Disclaimer, I did not say that. He just has a dirty mind.
We have it on video. I was recording, we just don't know.
Kindly repeat.
Block iko na kutu kama watu wenye hatuwezi taja.
So Jack, naona umefanya kazi mzuri. The parts are now clean. So Jack, I only have one question for you.
What?
Are you wet?
Ayo kaino no.
A few moments later.
Everything is clean now, you can see. So we have only one thing to clean, I think the valves. It's because they got a lot of carbon. Yeah, the only thing that's remaining. Then we're going to dip this. This has been dipped in the degreaser for a second time. Yeah, then we're going to leave it overnight. Tomorrow we come clean it up, and we are done. And I'm really happy with how this has turned out. It looks pretty amazing. Doesn't look new, but it's close, and I'm really happy with the job we've done. And to our next task, going to be cleaning this valves and also clean that one. Adnan is trying his magic over here. I don't know what he's trying. I don't know what he's doing. Lakini nimeambiwa there's a machine somewhere we're supposed to be using here. There. This is what we'll be using to clean the valves, grind them, because tunafaa tushikilie hizo valves. And what are you supposed to be using? What are you supposed to be using? Why are you improvising that?
There's the grinding stick.
Okay.
For the valve grinding stick. So that one, this process is supposed to be like manual. You're supposed to use your hands. So it's kind of like when you finance a tapo with that wooden stick.
Oh.
But so you can imagine sitting there down, just grinding on this, because this is the valve on this end, sitting inside there, and then you need to like constantly rotate it. So you'd take up a lot of time. Yeah. And it's very cumbersome. So basically, what we're trying to do is, instead of using our hands, we're going to use a drill. So I've taken this, one of our trusty star screwdrivers here has done its parting life, and now it is going to be used as this. Going to fit it onto the drill, fit the valve in, the pipe on this end,
so that it can turn. Yeah. Then what are you cleaning the valves with?
We're using valve grinding paste. What we're doing basically is to set the valve seats. So we're cleaning up the valve seats where they sit onto the cylinder head, just so that it's a flush seat and there's no seepage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the reason we're doing all that improvisation, the grinding stick is somewhere in here. Now all this, you can imagine, if we have to remove this, that will take us 7 working days, which we don't have. So that's about it. Cha tuone vile process itakuwa. Adnan anakuwaga na form every time. Hakuna kitu je mlemea. Hata kilemewa kufungua oil can, ananiita namsaidia. Nguvu ikipotea. Rudio swali unaniuliza Adnan.
This guy wants me to connect that there. There is a plug here, but in extension ya hiyo plug. So you can see the ingenuity over here. Mtu akipelsia akiona hii, atanipea probably like a degree or something. For doing all of this very good job.
Wewe utaambiwa uende nyumbani wewe.
So since ipo hapa, nimemuitisha jamaa dini kiberiti anaanza kuniangalia vibaya. Sasa nifanye nini sasa? Niambie.
Adnan nitoe kiberiti wapi?
Wewe unakata mtu unaweza kuona beba kiberiti.
Hala. In case you need some muscle, you know where to turn.
Jama, it was one filter, bro. Nimekupea kiburi hivi.
Bro, you've said that statement more than enough times.
Nimeisema literally sahi. It's like I've been, what do you call it? Thinking about it when ndaisema. Sando nimepata zangu. Unajua wewe lazima tu utaona.
How many times umeniambia umefanya kitu umeshindwa na kufanyia? Okay, si kushindwa, nguvu ndio kidogo ufikishe. How many times?
Sema statement kama hiyo bro ni mbaya by the way. Unachomea CV.
Okay, muscles.
Bado unajua sikwambia.
Okay, there is the grinding paste. Here is the valve. It's been fixed. There is the machine. So what we'll be doing is, like he explained, tutakuwa tunaiclinikiwa hapo ndani, at least so that it's nice and flush. There's no, you said no seepage, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, is how it looks like.
So once we're done with this, we have to clean the valves properly. This area where it has this carbon buildup,
Yeah.
taifanya usafi kidogo.
So for that we'll still use the grinding paste, ama?
No. This one we have to use a very we'll use some petrol.
We clean it just like it is to sufficient pistons and everything.
Kind of, but you see, we don't need to get this too thin because this fits in perfectly into the head. So if we grind it down with using the sandpaper a bit too much,
yeah, the space, yeah, there'll be play.
Yeah,
so it's just like literally a wipe down.
Yeah, you on this section only, not here, because this section,
on this,
yeah,
not here. This
not
one
here.
is like that.
Yeah.
Hapa ndio tutafanya
Yeah,
very
this is-
light.
This is the area that is below the seal, the valve seal.
Yeah.
So the valve seal sits somewhere around here. So this area here that you see that has this carbon buildup,
Yeah.
you can kind of feel it. It has some texture. So we need to
Yeah, I can feel
clean
that.
this out here. So it's just it doesn't really have any effect as such, but it's just something that it's better we have it cleaned up instead of keeping it back. I mean, we've already made this much effort, might as well go the extra one.
Yeah, and again you said I have OCD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
A good or a bad thing?
a very good thing, because ukiona venye hedi imengarishwa jamaa alikaa chini, ni kama wewe by the way ulikuwa mdogo hivi, ulikuwa unakalishwa chini na sufuria, si ndio?
Wapi?
Si wote.
Mimi na maji hatupendani.
Sasa wewe ni
So
mkamba,
it's a shocker.
Sasa wewe upendi nini maji, ama ni maji ndio ilikuwa haiku.
Unajua kwa video yangu, kwa simu yangu.
You can notice how the sound has changed.
Sorry?
The sound from when we started. It's changed. So that just tells you that now the coke part has already eaten up whatever
The builder. Okay, so tell me about this fine end and coarse this end. What's that?
So we've got coarse and fine. So this grinding paste is specifically for valve grinding. We have the coarse, which you can see. This is an example of the fine. You can notice like the texture of it.
Yeah,
It's kind of like butter in a way.
yeah.
Then if you were to see this other one, it has like a rough texture to it.
Yeah. It looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of rough.
So what happens is, you take, when you're starting your valve grinding process, this section that sits onto the cylinder head usually start with the coarse end. So any carbon seepage that has been on this section here, where the valve sits itself in a cooler, it eats up majority of it, and then when you go maybe like 1-2 rounds with it, depending on how bad it is, then you move on to the fine. So when you do the fine on this, it's sort of like a finishing process. It's like the way you'll be sanding down the body of a car. So you start with
The lower grit going upwards.
yes. So you start with the lower to eat up majority of the material.
Yeah,
And then the fine one.
smoothening it gradually.
Yeah. So this is just to remove that texture that might have been left back with the coarse.
Okay.
So usually we do this. We start with the coarse and then we move on with the cycle
the-
now to the
okay.
smooth. But now I'm doing this one example so that you can see how the process goes.
Okay.
So you can imagine we have to do this. We're lucky that this is not a 20 valve setup like that guy over there. So
That's a 4 AGE blacktop, which has 20
valves. So we have 4 less valves over here, which are 16 valves, and we have this process. If you take, you're supposed to take some good time with it. It's a very time-consuming process, and upeleke tu pole pole, because end of the day you wouldn't want to start removing the cylinder head again simply because the valves are not fitted right.
Yeah.
So you take approximately like 5-10 minutes per valve, and we have 16 valves.
So that's on the minimum, that's 2 hours.
At a more than 2 hours.
So there's a minimum if each is going 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
There are 16. That's 160 minutes.
Yeah.
So give or take, this is supposed to take 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Na umesema around ngapi?
Depending on how bad it is. So you can take maybe like 2 rounds on the coarse end, and then maybe like 1 round to finish up, because the fine end inaga maneno mingi. It's just like a finishing.
Okay, ladies, that was yours. 3 rounds is enough of honest work.
Jamana ananiekela maneno. He set me up for disaster.
We're talking about this. Where akili yako imeenda hapi?
He set me up for disaster.
Question, Adnan. How good are you with your fingers?
Yo siwezi kukwambia bro.
Okay, na ukishika valve lazima utumie kidole.
You a freak.
Work without play makes
You are dull boy.
exactly.
Yes.
Well, that will sum it for the second part of this video of our engine rebuild. Now, and the third one we'll be doing now the tunaifunga engine tena. We now putting the engine back together. Still have to look for that water pump, the oil pump, but I think the water pump we can tunaweza ifunga kama engine ishafungwa bado, but what we really need for now is the oil pump. Yeah, and yeah, you can tell I'm really happy about this. The engine is coming in together. Once you're done with the engine, now we'll proceed to the bodywork, now to the major part of the bodywork, which is straightening all the panels, dealing with the rust, the flow, and can't wait to finish this build. Anyway, thanks guys for watching to the end. If you've enjoyed, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe down there and share with your friends, and I'll catch you in the next one.